معانا سعادة سفير نيوزلندا في مصر، سعادة سفير جريج لويس، في مقابلة مع تلفزيون مجلة دبلوماسية. بنرحب بحضرتك سعادة سفير، وأتمنى تجاوب لنا على أسئلة مجلة دبلوماسية في الحوار بتاعنا. Thank you, Excellency, for your time, and I hope you can accept for the interview with you. Will be in the website in Diplomacy magazine.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
شكرا.
هنتكلم عن أول سؤال. ممكن حضرتك تكلمنا عن العلاقات بين مصر وبين نيوزيلندا ووسائل تعزيزها، سبل تعزيزها.
Sure. Well, the Egyptian-New Zealand relationship is long-standing, and it's warm. It's a partnership that's built on a foundation of strong mutual interests and commonality. The relationship between New Zealand and Egypt actually dates back a very long way. In fact, in World War II, New Zealand had about 70,000 New Zealanders who actually lived in Cairo, which was about 7% of our population. Since then, a lot of things have changed. In the 1980s, Egypt opened an embassy in Wellington and then closed it. And then in 2006, we opened our embassy here in Cairo. And in 2010, Egypt reopened in Wellington. So our bilateral relationship is relatively new in terms of its diplomatic relationship. But it's an area which is continuing to grow and to go from strength to strength. I was very pleased last month we had our Minister of Defence visit Egypt. He went to the Sinai to visit New Zealand Defence Force, who are stationed with the multinational force and observers. He had a couple of days with them, and then he had a series of high-level bilateral calls here in Cairo as well. So I was able to engage with the high levels of the Egyptian government. So I'm very, very pleased with our bilateral relationship. I think it's improving. It's important also in the trade sphere as well. Egypt is our largest trading partner in Africa. And we're encouraging both two-way trade from Egypt to New Zealand and also from New Zealand to Egypt. So we're working very hard with the Egyptian embassy in Wellington to advance our bilateral relationship.
ممكن نتكلم عن حجم التبادل التجاري بين مصر ونيوزيلندا.
Of course, yeah. So as I mentioned, Egypt is our largest trading partner in Africa, and it's our 27th largest globally last year. In fact, I'm advised that Egypt imported $188.8 million of New Zealand trade in the past year, and we've imported just under $10 million of Egyptian products. That said, we are keen to see our two-way trade expand. Our Ministry of Primary Industry recently signed off some protocols for the export of Egyptian citrus products to New Zealand, so they will be able to be exported to New Zealand from next year. And they're also currently looking at opportunities for other fruits, including Egyptian mangoes, pomegranate, and table grapes.
وبالنسبة للتعاون الاقتصادي والتجاري بين البلدين، هل في خطة لتوسيع التعاون بين البلدين في الفترة المقبلة؟
Yeah, so trade cooperation is the cornerstone, I think, of many diplomatic relationships, and certainly last month we had our joint trade committee with Egypt. So we brought together high-level officials from both the Egyptian and the New Zealand government. We met virtually, and we had representatives from Ministry of Trade and Industry, the Foreign Ministry, GAFI from the Egyptian side and other agencies, and from New Zealand we had our agricultural officials from the Ministry of Primary Industries and New Zealand Trade and Industry and the Foreign Ministry, and it was an opportunity to talk about the entire trading relationship. So an opportunity to do a stock check, to work out what was going well, what we can do better, and to discuss ways that we can improve trade between the two countries. We see both Egypt and New Zealand are trading nations. We both rely upon trade, and we have complementary trading portfolios. So the products that New Zealand sends to Egypt are quite often products which Egypt doesn't produce, and likewise the goods that we take from Egypt as well. So we see trade as a win-win, and so very keen to cooperate and to explore opportunities.
بالنسبة لأبرز الواردات النيوزيلندية إلى مصر والصادرات النيوزيلندية والصادرات المصرية إلى نيوزيلندا.
So New Zealand exports to Egypt are led primarily by dairy products. In fact, butter, ghee, milk and milk powder and cheese are about 95% of our trade that's coming into Egypt. So like with many respects with the products that are going to Egypt, it's a very localized amount of well, not a broad array of products coming in here. Egypt, by contrast, is exporting to New Zealand minerals, fertilizer, processed vegetables and textiles, and as of last year started to export oranges as well, which have been hugely successful and popular by New Zealand consumers. We are excited about the citrus products coming down to New Zealand, inshallah, next year, which will have more Egyptian products on New Zealand shelves. One thing which we have worked on over the last couple of years is the introduction of a great New Zealand product called Manuka honey. Now, Manuka is a type of New Zealand native plant, and the honey, which is made of course by the bees who visit the flowers of the Manuka tree, has medicinal properties, and so people take it for vitality and for well-being. So that's now excuse me, available on the shelves in Egypt, and we're very pleased at its success and the ability to have a flagship New Zealand product here in Egypt. We are, of course, keen to expand and to diversify and to improve upon bilateral trade. As I said, that's with increased exports to New Zealand from Egypt and also from New Zealand to Egypt. We're also aware that Egypt is a great staging country, and that for a lot of our products that come in, they're actually processed and then re-exported out of Egypt. So a lot of our exporters are looking at partnerships with Egyptian businesses. For example, New Zealand cheese coming into Egypt and then being turned into pizza and then exported, for example, to Europe or Africa or the Gulf. So there's a lot of opportunities there, and we're very excited.
ماذا عن المانجا؟
And the mangoes as well. So as I mentioned, our Ministry of Primary Industries are planning to look at the export of mangoes to New Zealand. I have been very active promoting Egyptian mangoes since I've been here, because I think they're terrific. I think they're really wonderful. So, and I've often commented that I think the New Zealand kiwi fruit and the Egyptian mango are the best combination. One's very sweet and delicious. The other one is a bit more kick to it, which is the kiwi fruit. So, but combined together, they're a great combination.
نتكلم عن السياحة الوافدة من نيوزلندا لمصر.
Yeah, so tourism is very important for both New Zealand and for Egypt. Excuse me. One of the challenges we had, of course, was the 2020 COVID pandemic. And New Zealand closed its borders during the pandemic, and New Zealanders stopped flying. So we're playing catch up now. Our borders are open, New Zealanders are travelling, and many of them are coming back to Egypt as well. So in terms of our current statistics, they're not at where they were before the pandemic, but they are going up again. New Zealanders have a great fascination for Egypt. We learn about Egypt in our school curriculum. Many people have had family members who have visited Egypt and have stories of their times here as well. So one thing which gives me great pleasure as ambassador is seeing New Zealanders come to Egypt, experiencing the history, experiencing the ocean and the Red Sea resorts, and having a wonderful time enjoying Egyptian hospitality, which is second to none. So it's an area of increased growth. We are a long way away. you have to really want to travel given the distance, but it's great to see that New Zealanders are coming back.
ممكن تتكلم عن رأيك الشخصي في الدور المحوري اللي بتلعبه مصر بقيادة الرئيس عبد الفتاح السيسي في الشرق الأوسط؟
Absolutely. So Egypt plays a vital role in the region. Egypt has an important leadership position here under the wise leadership of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, and the country's been integral in supporting regional peace and security, including recently with the Israeli-Palestinian crisis that we saw earlier this year. We know Egypt, under the President's leadership, plays a mediation role in regional conflicts, and we're very grateful for Egypt's role in promoting regional peace and stability. One thing, of course, we're also very excited about is Egypt's global leadership with the COP27 conference that's coming up later this month. It's rolled around very quickly, but it's an issue climate change that will affect all of us. So it's wonderful that Egypt's put its hand up and is assuming this leadership mantle and bringing together the world into Sharm el-Sheikh in order to talk about something which is so important and something that impacts every one of us.
تكلمنا عن الإسلام في نيوزيلندا.
Yeah, so Islam is a small but growing religion in New Zealand. At present, we estimate probably about 1% of our 5 million population are Muslim. Many people of the Muslim faith are from Southeast Asia, from Indonesia, from Malaysia, and also, of course, from this part of the world as well. Our Muslim brothers and sisters are an important part of our community. They're part of the fabric of New Zealand, and they create the diversity and the breadth of awareness that is our communities and our society. So very much welcomed, ethnically diverse.
كيف تتعامل نيوزيلندا على حل مشكلة الأمن الغذائي؟
Well, New Zealand is an agricultural and food producing nation known for producing high quality food. We stand ready to help Egypt with its food security requirements. We know at the moment the world is facing a lot of supply chain issues, and inflationary pressures. We believe that New Zealand is a reliable source of food products. For Egypt, we currently export dairy products, milk powder, butter, and cheeses, which come into Egypt. In fact, quite often I'll meet with Egyptians. I'll say I'm from New Zealand, and they'll say, Gibna, or they'll say, things like that. So we do have a brand, I think, which is very positive. We have our largest dairy company, Fonterra. They have a company here based in Cairo as well, and they have long-term partnership with Egyptian companies as well. So whilst also providing food security, we are keen to engage in terms of job creation in Egypt as well, and we believe that those sorts of partnerships are the best way to move forward in terms of both bringing investment into Egypt and also trade opportunities for New Zealand. So I think food security is an important issue for both our countries.
كيف بتعمل نيوزيلندا مع أزمتي تغيير المناخ والغاز؟
Well, in terms of climate change, it's something which really is impacting our part of the world. New Zealand is a Pacific Islands country. We have Pacific Islands neighbours who are disproportionately impacted by climate change, particularly in terms of sea level rising. We know Egypt's taking an active role with COP27 this year, and given the disproportionate impact that climate change will have on Africa. Likewise, with our concerns for Africa, we're also concerned about the Pacific as well. In terms of COP27, we're sending a high-level delegation. In fact, some of them have started arriving for the conference this month. We are hopeful that we can reach a really positive outcome with this COP. We know that we're all in this together. No one country can do it alone, and I think with friends like Egypt and a desire, we can all work together to both mitigate and adapt to the changes that are coming.
إزاي بتقضي وقتك في مصر؟
Yeah, so I've been in Egypt for 3.5 years. I've had the good fortune to be able to travel to many of the cities around the country. What I love most is spending time particularly with my Egyptian friends and learning about the country and its history. One thing I've been really touched and honoured to be part of is just the generosity and hospitality of Egyptians. I'm actually on my 3rd posting here. I think there's the saying, if you've drunk from the Nile, you'd always come back. And years ago, I studied Arabic for 1.5 years before a posting in the region. I came back here as the Deputy Chief of Mission, and then again this time round. So Egypt resonates very strongly with me. It's a place where I like to spend my time. I like to go and see the historical sites. I like it when my friends and my family come to visit, and I can show them this amazing country. So it's an absolute honour and a privilege to be here, and wonderful to be working in the stewardship of our bilateral relationship.
شكرا سعادة سفير على وقتك، وشكرا على إجابتك لمجلة دبلوماسية.
عفوا، شكرا. Pleasure. Thank you.